Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today, we got ourselves a banger daily market news and analysis. What is up? If you're new here, we go over the news, the crypto news, and the analysis. And we got a banger for you today. So make sure you hit that bell icon and subscribe so you never miss a video. And we're going to start it off with the top story. M2 hits an all-time high. And if you're like new to crypto and you're like, I've seen somebody in the comments say, is Bitcoin really at an all-time high, or are they printing more money? The answer is yes, and that is the entire point. If you think for a second that China, the United States, Russia is going to stop printing money, you are sadly mistaken, my friends. It's not going to happen. All right? And we know what happens with cryptocurrency and with Bitcoin. All right? It's very clear. There's a clear correlation. We had a pullback with Bitcoin. It's the old sleight of hand. The sleight of hand. Look over here at tariffs. Meanwhile, BlackRock and all the institutions are buying at record rates. Meanwhile, this has been following the M2 money supply almost to a T. Bitcoin is just a beat or two behind, as we can see. And this is basically what I anticipate. Now, my prediction for Bitcoin is 138K, as high as $207,000. Okay? All right? And the bigger thing that's even less people pay attention to is the hash rate. And we see that the total hash rate for Bitcoin today just hit an all-time high. This is definitely a front-running indicator for Bitcoin. So there's things all around us to keep an eye on. The M2 money supply is at an all-time high, and the hash rate is at an all-time high. And we're going to talk about some more of that later on in the show. All right. Zebec, in my opinion, is in a clear Wyckoff trap, right? It's all the rage. That's all that anyone is talking about is, what about Zebec, Ski? Should we buy Zebec? And my answer is no. If you do not have a position on Zebec, I would not be making a new position, because this is clear. Wyckoff accumulation almost a year at this price before starting the phase E. This is the phase E, which is what we call the markup. It's already at my first macro target and my second macro target. In all likelihood, Zebec gets to a penny. That's another 40% whoopee. If you've already done a 9x since April, which is what Zebec has done, I recommend taking some profits. If you did not get a part of that, I would not FOMO in now. But obviously, that's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, bro. Do your own homework. Do your own research. All right. Bitcoin. This is big. $1.5 billion filing for Bitcoin, right? The new Hong Kong retail long tech disclosed to the SEC plans to buy up to $1.5 billion to strengthen the reserves and hedge against the financial volatility. And again, it's the sleight of hand. It's the look over here. Meanwhile, here's what the institutions are doing. Retail is selling. Meanwhile, hash rates are at an all-time high. M2 is at an all-time high. BlackRock is buying at an all-time high. Okay? It's the old sleight of hand. Look over here as we do this over here. Do as we say, not as we do. Right? All right. Russia's largest bank to launch Bitcoin derivatives and structured bonds. Again, retail is cooked. Retail is selling. Meanwhile, countries are buying. Meanwhile, BlackRock is buying. Meanwhile, all the institutions are buying. I've seen this movie one time. I've seen it 76 times. Okay? If I've seen the movie one time, I've seen it 732 times. All right. The total market capitalization of stablecoins has surpassed $250 billion for the first time. So not only is cryptocurrency growing, but so too is the stablecoins. And guess what? This is some dry powder ready to strike. ladies and gentlemen. $250 billion just sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the correct opportunity. All right, this is a big deal for sure. And what I want to show you too, meanwhile, while all this is going on, what we talked about, M2 is at an all-time high. BlackRock's buying, and we talked about this. Bitcoin and Ethereum are at 7-year lows for what is available on the exchanges. What does this mean? See, these institutions, they don't buy the same way that you and I buy. No. They have over-the-counter sales. And they've been buying a lot of over-the-counter. And guess what that means? There is no more available for these institutions to buy. We have record low of what is available on the exchanges for them to buy. What does that mean? What is the translation of that? While retail is cooked and scared, there is about to be a epic supply squeeze to the likes of perhaps we've never, ever seen. All right? And there is a pretty big unlock coming for all of these, over $2.7 billion of tokens to be unlocked in June, led by Sui, which is $206 million. Zero has $64 million. APT has $58 million. Listen, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this because this is not the way of going. This only favors development, in my opinion. This only favors the development team. It does not favor the institutions, or it does not favor the holders, because price equals supply plus demand. So this is definitely something to look out for and keep an eye on for sure. And Coinbase is at record lows. Record lows as far as the app rankings, okay? So the Coinbase app right now is ranked 407th. 407th. And we know that this is indicative of where retail is at. 407th. By the way, for the record, November of 2021, Coinbase was number 1. April of 2021, Coinbase was number 1. December of 2024, Coinbase was number 10. Okay? So the fact that right now it's at 407 tells us everything you need to know. You might be like, well, Ski, what about Robinhood? Don't forget about Robinhood. Robinhood was available in 2017, 2021. That's number 1. Also, Robinhood is not even in the top 300. Robinhood also climbs the ranks as Bitcoin climbs the ranks. All right? So, yeah, it's, whoopsies. My God. All right, and with that, let's get into the charts and the TA. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at Ethereum. We're going to take a look at XRP and all of the others as well. Where is my chart? Here we go. Let's start it off with... Let's start off with Bitcoin. As of the time of recording, is just shy of $106,000. In my opinion, this is nothing more than a breakout back test. And this is a very, very quiet breakout back test, right? So retail, here's a recap of what retail was doing at 70K, not a murmur, not a peep. At 80K, not a murmur, not a peep. At 90K, not a murmur, not a peep. 100K, 110K. Wait a minute. Bitcoin just made an all-time high? Are we sure? Pulls back 7%, 8% after going up 60% in 45 days. See? I knew better. I knew better than to trust this rally. Why did I even get my hopes up? Why did I believe? And ladies and gentlemen, and my boys and girls, in my opinion, this is what we call disbelief. This is a disbelief rally. Make no mistake about it. So Bitcoin is finding support here again. We're starting to get a little bit of movement to the upside. Nothing too crazy. I don't think that Bitcoin's the play. Bitcoin goes to 138K, maybe 207,000 from here. But we do want to see Bitcoin continue to rise. So that's looking good, just shy of 106,000. And my suspicion was that we were going to catch support here. That looks like that's what's happening for Bitcoin. As far as Bitcoin dominance goes, still struggling here at the 702 Fibonacci retracement. And this is a good thing. We don't want to see it break through this. Like a little bit of wick here and there, that's fine. But ultimately, what I want to see is Bitcoin dominance pulling back, making a lower low. And all it's going to take is for Ethereum to do its thing, right? Ethereum. Again, this is the biggest one of like, Ethereum is going to lead the altcoin, in my opinion. Whether it's a true, real deal alt season or whether it's a flavor of that, Ethereum, whether it be like some sort of retrace or whatever, Ethereum is going to lead that. And all we got was just a higher low. And retail is just, pack it up, boys. See you in 4 years. All we got was a higher low. We didn't even make a lower low. It's still in this uptrend. We made a higher high, a higher high, a higher high. We made a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. We made another higher low, and retail is cooked. See, I knew better than to believe. But it's just crazy. It is insanity to me. Literally, Ethereum is up 100% over the last 45 days. Pure insanity out of retail. Cross to the upside on the RSI. This is a very good thing. The last few times that this has happened was right here. We had a cross to the upside on the 5-hour RSI. Immediately followed a 13% move. We had a cross to the upside right here on the 5-hour chart. And we immediately had a 17% move. Okay. And that's basically what I expect for Ethereum right now. Is making some sort of 13 to 17% move. At a minimum, I think that Ethereum will test the top of this range again, which is about $2,800, which is probably going to be enough to pull Bitcoin dominance to where we need to go. So we'll see once we get there, do we have enough strength to actually break from this bull flag that Ethereum has printed or not? We'll see when we get there. My guess right now is I think that we will. Specifically because just retail is just not in this game. And that is wonderful, wonderful, magnificent. That is music to my ears, and I love it. But at a minimum, we're going to test $2,800, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes from that. And we'll see where the charts are at from there. But that, to me, is going to be enough to make a lower low. And that is going to be enough to start things off, in my opinion. Quietly, the DXY is still just on a downtrend, making new lows. It's made a micro lower low. Let's see if we can make a macro lower low. That would be very, very big. What I talked about, too, was like this was 7 years of support over here. Over 7 years of support. It broke through it, and I talked about it coming back and back testing what was resistance or the floor as the ceiling. That is exactly what's happened. And when we look on the daily on the DXY, which the DXY trades inversely with cryptocurrency and the stock market, this is a strong candle, right? So this was a big wick over here, but the body of this is much stronger to the downside. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. M2 we talked about earlier, already at an all-time high. So that is a good thing. So if you're watching live, make sure you guys spam that like button, hit that share so other people can spam the like button. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss a video. All right, guys, with that, let's get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. Let me pull up my chat over here. I don't know that. I don't know that we love where retail is not in. Exactly. Literally. It's music to my ears. Where are we at, Chief? Wind Moon. Bro, what's your thoughts on Sui? There's an unlock coming. That's definitely not a good thing. That's not a good thing. Nice setup. Thank you, John. I appreciate you. Top value plays: Solnic, H&T, Rose, ICP, Shiba, Dent, VeChain, Naka, IOTA, Flux, Theta, Krill, Suki, Raven, Dynex, Dot, LCX, Sauce, Hehe, Crow, Phantom, One, XYO, Link, XNO, Fat Cat, and AR. Like the new view. I appreciate it. Can you do S and X ski? I got you. I got you. I appreciate you. Yo, Ski, what's up? Jay says, dude, congrats on the new setup. It looks good. I appreciate it, bro. Let's check out SNX. Hopefully you guys like this style of, you know, a little bit of value bringing to you guys before we just get into the questions, comments, and concerns. DNX looking good finally. I agree. It's woken up a little bit. It has woken up a little bit, and I am here for it. Hopefully, Arweave. Yeah, I'm in a long on Arweave right now. I think it's super good. Okay. This looks like accumulation. I don't love that it took out all of the support. So I'd be more inclined to believe just a retracement for it. Solnic next target. Minimum of $40 million market cap. That's going to be the next little micro leg. Ultimately, over the course of the bull run, I think 10 cents is my low case, $1 is my medium case, and $5.89 is my bull case. Solnic is looking very, very good on the charts. I'm very encouraged with how, you know, during this pullback, Solnic has really held up strongly. And that's what I love about it. Every bottom has been more than double from the last bottom. And I don't know of another coin that's been doing this same thing. But where we're at right now, looking very, very strong. On a bit of an uptrend of higher lows and higher highs. We broke out of this big, huge wedge and had a back test of the prior range, again making a higher low. Beautiful, beautiful setup right now. On the 5 hour, we've just had a cross to the upside. So that is very, very good. In all likelihood, this is probably the best opportunity that you were going to get. And I think that we're going to make a push for a higher high, especially as Ethereum starts to wake up and the entire market starts to wake up. Just love you stick with us, good or bad. I appreciate it, Jamie. When's the Sui unlock coming? It's coming in June. It's coming in June. Yo, Ski, can you use Wyckoff to chat? Serve, please. What's it? SERVE? Let me get this over here a little bit so I can see the chat better. I need to figure out how to get the TikTok chat. All right. SERVE. Yeah, let's check it out. How's everyone feeling out of 10, by the way? SER. Let's see if we can get this. I don't know if this is going to have enough data. Thank you for the gift, Irish Dano. You savage, bro. I don't mind this at all. This looks really good to me. I don't know what the inflation on this is, but this is your markdown. This is accumulation. This looks like your spring and a clear reverse trend. This is your sign of strength. This is your back test of the prior range. Beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. We're already at the retracement, so it wasn't a terrible place to take profit a little bit. So the next thing would be parabolic of 29 cents. I missed the birds, Ski. Don't worry. You're going to get them next week because I'm going back. Can you explain the Bitcoin hash rate? Okay. Yes, I can. So what is the Bitcoin hash rate? The Bitcoin hash rate, essentially, that is the difficulty of mining. What does that mean? That means that miners are trying to solve the algorithm that is Bitcoin so that they are rewarded in Bitcoin at the all-time high. So that means the computational power that is mining Bitcoin today is the highest that it has ever been. And this is, you typically see this before Bitcoin makes a run. That typically goes first. The miners start mining, and then the coin starts to go. That's typically what we see. Yo, Ski, what's up, Minaj? Hey, Ski, awesome. Open to the live today. Thank you for all the work. 10 out of 10. Good Morgan. What's up, Cole? Good to see you, brother. How H-bar is long-term and target. I like H-bar long-term. 7 since we got some movement from ETH. Yeah, ETH is on the move. Listen, I predicted yesterday that was the bottom locally, or at least relatively, right? And that's what I think. We're already at 2,600. Like, it's moving. She moving and grooving. We've been talking about this. Like, retail does not believe. It's already up how much percent? 5%? 6.5%. You love to see it. You love to see it. Me, myself, and I thank you for the 490 donation, brother. You savage. I appreciate you. Thank you, fam. He says, Ski, can you look up Mover, please? I got you. MOVR. I have Sol, ADA, XRP, and Link. Would you switch any of those others if it was yours? All of those to me are super long-term plays. And I would feel comfortable holding all of those for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? The cream rises to the top. Okay, so this is your downtrend. This is accumulation. This looks like your sign of strength to me. In the micro, this looks pretty good. I'm going to pull a little micro fib on this and give you some analysis off of that. Retracement is 16 doll hairs. And then the parabolic level is 44 doll hairs. So that looks pretty good to me. The cream rise to the top. Oh, yeah. Thoughts on Uni? I'm a big fan of Uni. I think Uni is going to perform very, very well. Minimum of 5 to 10x. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw! Appreciate you, brother. Big D, what's up, fam? Oh, my Lord. Have mercy. Lord, have mercy on me. I didn't mean to do that. I did not. I'm still working out the kinks on everything. Ski, drop thoughts on TARS AI, please. Are we on the way to the top for Bitcoin on this small time frame? Layla, I think that, Bitcoin looks pretty good here. I think it looks pretty good here. This has been support here for a little while. This is a decent bit of support as well. I don't know that we're going to make an all-time high tomorrow or anything like that, but Bitcoin is still on an uptrend. I don't think that Bitcoin is the play, but obviously you need the sun to rise to feel the heat. We just made an all-time high and a back test of the prior range. What's up, Ski? What's up, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Can we chart past the 2618 level on XMW, for example? Ski, do we need QE before we ride? I know it's happening in the background, but not official. I don't think so. Like, what is QE? QE is money printing. M2 just made it an all-time high on money printing today. Right? That happened today. Do we need QE? We have QE. Right? That's the reality. China is already officially in QE. Russia, the UK is already officially in the QE. The Fed is buying bonds. M2 is at an all-time high. What is M2? M2 is money printing. Do we need it? Also, I don't think it's that far off the official one anyways. What up, Ski? What's up, Cali XT? You like JamsBet? I don't know what JamsBet is. I do not care. We do not care. I have a long position from 104K. We broke the previous high to go up now. Go to another all-time high. 10K. That ETH will be under 2K by July. Like, is that before or after 3,300? Roberto says, I love that retail isn't in. Me too. What is your top ROI play right now? It is Sonic. Sonic is my number one 100x play, period. Realistic price prediction for Sonic. 10 cents. My bare bones case. My medium case is $1. My bull case is $5.89. On this next leg, I think we get to about $40 million market cap. On the next little micro push. So there you go. There's 4 targets for you. And here's what I know. Sooner or later, we will hit all of them. This bull market or the next. As long as there is blood pumping through my veins, we will keep pushing. What's your prediction on Bitcoin? Are you talking macro? My prediction is, and it's been, by the way, hear me. When Bitcoin was at 16K, this was my prediction. They said I was crazy. Now they say I'm conservative. But in 2022, when Bitcoin was at 16K, this was my prediction. Are you ready? 118, bare bones. 138, medium case scenario. 207 is my bull case scenario. I don't think Bitcoin is the play. We're talking 50 to 100%. I think the play is the altcoins. Yo, Ski, how do you feel about DOT? I think DOT looks pretty good here. With retail not in yet, does it give us more time to buy? A little bit. A little bit. What do you think of Hee short term? Hee is one of my top value plays as well. I'm a big fan of Hee, big fan of Alex. Predictions on when Bitcoin hits $1 million. Probably the next bull market. That's plausible. Maybe 500K, maybe 2 bull markets. 2032. I think by 2032, Bitcoin hits $1 million. The best creator. I appreciate you, brother. Will you be rotating microcaps at some point? I'm not really in a ton of microcaps, to be honest with you. Hey, Ski, how do you check the liquidity of a coin? You can, on Dex Tools is a good place. Dex Tools is a good place. More conviction behind Ondo or Proppy? I don't know. That's a good one. Let me see. What is the... All right, so the FTV is 8.5 billion, so there's a decent bit of inflation on Ondo for sure. Let's check out Proppy. It's probably Proppy. Is this Proppy right here? Is this the right one? It's definitely Proppy. If this is the one, just looking at market cap to FTV, it's Proppy for sure. Like, that's it. It's as simple as that. Price equals supply. Are they dumping supply on your head or not? That is half the equation. That is half of the equation. Sad day, news is done and the website is down. Yeah, that sucks, HB. I'm not going to lie to you. They did not give me a heads up at all. I was just as you guys found out before I did. I was working on the show. Yeah, it kind of sucks. It is what it is. I still got mine. I tell you what, we'll get Solnick to $1, and we'll take that one to 20 million after that. Is the bottom in? The bottom was April 7th, 2025. The bottom was April 7th, 2025. Yeah, Tony wasn't happy with me, Ski, which is crazy because he didn't even have any. It's a crazy thing to be mad about a coin that you don't even have. It is what it is. What do you think Bitcoin retraced to after the bull run market? It depends on how high we go. It depends on how high we go. If we go to 207, that's my plausible bull case scenario. I think we probably come back to 60. If we go to 138, we're probably only going to come back to 70. The higher you go, the further you're going to come down to. This might be the last time. There's a reasonable plausibility that right here, where are we? Oh, here we go. When we pulled back to 74, that might be the last time we're ever below 70K in the 70s. Ever. There's a reasonable plausibility of that. Now, I think I think we could get into the 60s for sure if we go to 207, but there's a reasonable plausibility that was the last time we go to the 70s. That's not my prediction, but that's plausible. My prediction is we go to 207 and we come back to 60. That's my prediction. Six months, Peter. Peter, the horse is here. Seems on a tear. Great. Hopefully it never pulls back. Because we know what that means. Listen, I don't have an interest in things that jump to different projects when it pulls back. No disrespect, but if a creator shows you what they will do when it pulls back, that's what they will do. But I'm glad. I'm grateful that everyone made money on that. Hopefully it goes up forever. Good morning. How are you? How about Near, sir? I think Near does a 3 to 5x. Sol or ETH? For what? ROI? That's a close one. Let me see. Are we talking strictly ROI or are we talking technology? The answer is different. So if we're talking technology, it's Solana. If we're talking ROI at the present moment, it's, I need to check. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Solana. Let me do the market cap. It's probably Ethereum for ROI. Technology and holding for 10 years, I definitely believe in Solana more. ROI from present moment. Let's see here. 2x. 2.2x for Solana. Ooh, it's pretty close. It's about a 2x. Okay, so slightly Solana by a very small margin on ROI. But it's very close. You're splitting hairs. I would say like parabolic though, definitely Ethereum. Probability Solana, parabolic though, I think Ethereum from this present moment today right now. Sui or Aptos? Aptos, I'm not a huge fan of Sui. Sol on tech and ROI. What time frame are the charts you look at usually? Does anything catch your eye with the monthly close? For sure. I definitely pay attention to the monthly. Normally, I hang out in the daily, but I will move around a little bit. Here's the time frames that I look at. I look at the monthly. I look at the 5 week. I look at the 2 week. I look at the weekly. I look at the 5 day, the 3 day, the daily, the 5 hour, and the 3 hours about as low as I go. But the ones that where I hang out the most are between the 5 hour and the 5 day. 5 hour daily, 3 day, 5 day. That's where I spend the most amount of my time, followed by the weekly. I spend a decent bit of time at the weekly for sure too. I don't look at anything on the 4s if you notice, because everyone looks at the 4s, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I want to have a different perception than everyone else so that I can have my own perception. So if you want to have a different perception, you need to look in different places. And so that's what I do. If you're asking me, why do I look at the 5 hour, not the 4 hour? That's why. I look at the 5 hour chart, not the 4 hour. That's not a hard rule. That's just what I do. I'm not saying if you look at the 4 hour, you are wrong. No. ETH for sure. So pullback from last cycle highs to 16K. Shouldn't that mean we capitulate to 207 because we will retrace almost 80%? It depends. Like last cycle was different. Like people are talking again. This is like people talking out of both sides of their mouth. They want to say it's different this time, but then it's going to be the same. So if you're going to say it's going to be the exact same as last time, Bitcoin pullback 77%. Right? You would anticipate diminishing returns a little bit, so maybe 73%. Is what I would estimate if it's the same. But it's not the same because governments are buying. It's not the same though. So let's give it, let's say it is the same of diminishing returns, 73%. That means we pull back to 53K. That's probably as good as it's going to get from 207. But in all likelihood, I don't think it's going to crash that hard because institutions are buying. Governments are buying. In all likelihood, we're just going to backtest 100K. That's probably the highest probability. But we'll see. Brandon says, me, myself, and I talk trash on Sui in your spaces. But behind the scenes, he is a whale and drools over it. Bro, let me find out you're a whale. XRP. I think XRP goes to $5 to $8 is the highest probability. You could throw a dart at the top 50 and get a 2x. That's probably reasonable, to be honest. That's retail's investment strategy. What's the flavor of the month? The lies he tells. Can you check out IOTA short term? I got you, brother. Bitcoin long. I'm in a Bitcoin long right now. She's at 106K. She's running. Running. What percent are we from an all-time high, by the way? I don't mind this. This looks like accumulation in the short term. Yeah, this looks good. You're on a bit of an uptrend. My phone's in my way. This looks like your spring, and you're on a bit of an uptrend. I think that this looks pretty good here. Again, like even just a micro, the retracement's going to be 41 cents. That's a decent bit of gains, and parabolic is $1.30. That's a decent bit of gains. Yeah. What if ETH hits 8K? Would you say you effed up? Why would I say that? My target is 7,200. That's the highest probability. Why would I say that? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I say that I effed up? Where'd our music go? The highest probability target that I have for Ethereum is 7,200. Here's my low, medium, high. 3,300, 7,200, 12K. There you go. Hey, Ski. Yes, 3,300 is the next target. There are multiple layers. If you're climbing the Empire State Building, there are different floors that you must reach. That is the next floor, is 3,300. I'm saying, and I've said 100 times, I've said 1,000 times, the bare bones minimum that Ethereum is going to do is 3,300. The highest probability is 7,200. I've said that 1,000 times. Your Twitter handle, please. It's my last name, Gajewski, Gajewskey. You can find all of my links in my bio. I have a link tree on there. It has everything. It has the Telegram. It has my YouTube, my Instagram, my Twitter. It has BitUnex, which is the platform that I use to trade with. 2032 Chainlink price, 500. Maybe 1,000. Are you Polish heritage? I am Polish heritage. I am indeed Polish. You see it. You see it. I'm Polish. I am Polish. Iota, Jasmine, maybe. Close. W Poland. 2032 price on Sui. Don't say zero. No, I don't think it's going to zero. When is the inflation done on Sui? I actually believe in Sui better longer term. I'm way more bullish long term on Sui than I am like this run. I'm not that big of a hater. I'm just a realist for right now. You know what I mean? Like it came out of nowhere and now it's top 10. When is the unlock done? When are we at 33 billion? When is we're at 33%. When are we at 100%? What percentage are we at that point? 2032 Sui? $50. Ski got a little black in him too. Listen, bro. Bro, did you just become a member? Thank you for becoming a member, Justin. You savage. Listen, bro, I was definitely at the barbecues, all right? I was definitely at the cookouts. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, for real. Listen, I've lived in the country, and I've lived in a place where I was the only white dude. You know, I've lived in both. I can do both. All right. All right, let's check out AR. AR is one of my top value plays right now. It's at $6.66. The devil. This is gonna get me copyrighted. What are we doing? This is not. What is this? Why is it playing this weird stuff? They're going to get me copyrighted, y'all. All right, hopefully that's good. All right, yeah, this looks really good to me. I'm in a long on our AR right now. This to me is the end of this micro downtrend where you did a full on retracement. Minimum is $62, but I think that there's a reasonable chance we get to price discovery / parabolic, which is 137 to 218. Dynex is cooking. Come on now. Y'all didn't believe. Ye of little faith. Yes, sir. That's it. That's a clear break. Now, we got a lot of work to do. We're still well below the 236, but even just a retracement, 65 cents, there's going to be lots of gains to be had. He says you definitely invited to the barbecue. Listen. I lived in my sophomore through senior year, I lived in Hastings, Florida. All right, that was outside of St. Augustine. That's where I went to school. I was in the same division as Tim Tebow. Listen, the biggest transition that ever happened to me in my whole life is I was the fastest dude in my entire league in Hillbilly, Ohio, in Farmtown, Ohio. And then I went to Florida, and I'm just like regular speed. They're like, what, you play tight end? I'm just regular speed. I'm like, bro, I can't compete with these dudes. That was the biggest transition in my whole life. All right? I was like, okay. They're like, you play tight end, bro? Who just became a member? Thank you for becoming a member, you savage. I did not play tight end, all right? That was when my dreams were over. I was like, okay, I see what it is. They are literally, quite literally built differently than me. The web split between Sonic, ADA, VeChain, DOT, Phantom, Rose, AVAX is 50K realistic this bull market? Definitely. Hillbilly, Ohio. You literally, bro, I was the fastest kid in the whole league. And then I went to Florida, and I was just like regular speed. They're like, you play linebacker or tight end? What you play, bro? You don't play no running back around here. Alan, thanks for becoming a member, you savage. What's ETH's resistance? My God. We're going to have to stop this because this is not... I don't know what's going on with the music today. I don't know what they've done. What have you done? It won't even let me... I don't know what they've done. They're going to get me copyrighted. This is what's going to happen. All right, we just can't do the music today. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Funkmaster Ski. I was saying for soccer, balled out and then tried out for academy, realized I'm not built like that, bro. All right, so the Ethereum resistance is going to be 2,800 for sure. That's going to be a big level. I think we're going to make a higher high here. I'm not saying, tomorrow or anything like that, but I think that's the next thing for Ethereum is making a little plunge up to the top of this parallel channel that we've been at. We've been making higher lows and we've been making higher highs the entire time. So about 2850, that's going to be the next resistance. And we'll see. Like, does Ethereum have enough mustard to break out? We'll see. All right. I think that we might, but that definitely is going to be the next spot. Still quick at 58. Ski OH. AVAX 2 to 300. Show the H bar says I hate mustard. Bro, you and me both. If they put mustard on my burger, I will get upset. Listen, I am calm, cool, and collective. If you put mustard on my burger, bro, you might as well punch me in the face. I'd rather you hit me in the face, bro, for real. I hate mustard. Now, honey mustard? Honey mustard, though? All right, let's check out H-bar. I'd rather you punch me in the face than put mustard on my burger. All right, market cap. This is micro accumulation. Looking pretty good here. I'm going to give you ROI percentage. And then you can do the math, or I'll do the math. That's fine. 70% for a retracement on the micro. Parabolic is about a 4 to 5x. So that's pretty good. So 70% is the retrace. 4x for parabolic. I'll fix the music for tomorrow. So that's about 28 cents to 86 cents for H-bar. Yeah, I think so, Roberto. Like 118, depending on how quickly we get there. But depending on how quickly we get there, it's better without music. That is the Solnick contract address. That is my top 100x play, period. We still stacking H-bar in the bear? Yes, I am going to be stacking H-bar in the bear. Most of the inflation on H-bar is done. Still confident that Solnick hits 7 cents? Yes. In fact, I will shave my beard if we do not. That's how confident I am that Solnick hits 7 cents. And in fact, it's already at the higher low structure. And I think that the local bottom was already in. And I think the opportunity, not that it's already passed, but the best price is already passed. And it's still just an excellent price. Give Ski the mustard burger if you never want him to come back to the barbecue. When do you think the bull run will happen, honestly? I mean, Ethereum's up 100% since April. Bitcoin's up 50% since April. The next phase is Ethereum getting to 3,300. That's going to pull Bitcoin dominance down. And that's when I think what you're referring to, that's when that starts. And I think that that's going to happen very, very soon. I think that this summer months are going to be the most bullish summer months that we've had. What is better to watch, EMA or SMA? It depends on what you like, right? Figure out where you start to see a little bit of an edge. I generally look at the EMA. But there's not a wrong answer. It's really like, what do you see? Where do you have an edge? Stick with that. I know Alex looks at the SMA. I look at the EMA. ETH. I think ETH is about to go to 2850. And then we'll see if it has enough juice, mustard, enough gas. Does the ETH have enough gas to break another leg to 3,300. Ultimately, 3,300 is the next landing spot, and we'll see what comes from that. Where do you think Quant will go? Bare bones 300, but I think there's a high plausibility of 700. Cookie Dow hit its peak. Let's see. Did Cookie hit its peak? Am I peaking on my microphone, by the way? Does it make sense to jeet a coin after a run and wait for a I don't think it ever makes sense to jeet. If you're like a real whale, if you jeet, what you do is you kill any chance of it going higher. I think the play is to DCA. If you DCA in, DCA out, that's going to give you the highest ROI potential. To be honest, I'm not a believer in jeeting. No, that's never anything that I do. Retracement. Yeah, this looks good. I like this chart. 47 cents. Parabolic is $1.50. Go ETH. I'm feeling gassy. Bro, I was gassy earlier. I went to Hobby Lobby with my wife trying to get this all situated for my brother because this is going to be the sports podcast set up too. And, man, I had gas so bad. I let one rip, and I swear to you, an old lady, she was crying. She was like, why would somebody do this? It was bad. I felt bad. How could you do this? Chainlink. I like Chainlink a lot. Chainlink, I'm in a long right now, and it's in my kid's portfolio, meaning I believe in Chainlink for the next 15 days and for the next 15 years. My bare bones target is $38. 78 is my medium case. My bull case is 178 for this bull market. Yeet, don't jeet. Cotty. How could somebody do this? Yeah, this looks good. Reaccumulation here. Retracement is 43 cents. Parabolic price discovery, a doll hair. Looking pretty good. Why would anyone do this? What's your thoughts on dog with hat? Let's take a look. This was distribution. This was your markdown. This was accumulation. Your sign of strength. Your back test of the prior range. I think it will minimum retrace $2.70. That's about a 3x from here. If it wants to go into price discovery, you're looking at about $6.50. Hey, Ski, it's been a minute. Good to see you, Sandy. It has been a minute. Sandy was one of the true proper OGs. I think she might have the reddest of the pills. At least you weren't with an elevator with no escape. Raven coin prediction. I think Raven coin is going to perform very well. 5 to 10x for Raven coin. Yeah, I think Raven coin is going to perform super well. Thoughts on Pinlink? I think Pinlink is bottomed. I got lots of hate for my thoughts on Pinlink back in November, December. I was saying, like, if you were my brother, I would take profit. That's what I was saying back in November, December on Pinlink. People were mad, right? They were mad. They were so mad. They were like, he's such a hater of Pinlink. But I'm not a hater of Pinlink, and I actually really like the chart here. But, like, when they were asking me back in November and December, I swear on everything, this is what the chart was. And I was like, listen, guys, this is not sustainable. This is not real. You don't just have a straight line up like this forever. And I was saying, like, for the love of God, please take profit. That's what I was saying. And they're like, he's a hater of Pinlink. I'm like, no, I'm not, bro. I'm not. But we got our distribution. We got our markdown. We broke the downtrend. Beautiful. Back into Wyckoff accumulation. Beautiful. I would even say that this is the sign of strength back test. Beautiful. Retracement is $3. Parabolic is 11. What about DOT? I'm a huge fan of DOT. I think DOT's. I'm actually in a long on DOT, I believe. I don't know if it got stopped or not. But I think DOT's going to perform super well. This is beautiful. The same chart here, your markdown, your accumulation, your sign of strength, back test, move higher, back test, reaccumulate. I'm going to give you micro pull and a macro. Micro, you're looking at a 1x as high as a 5x. And then macro, 4x for retracement. Parabolic is an 18x. But I think reasonably a 5x for DOT I think is super reasonable. There's confluence of the micro fib and the macro fib on that. J.O., thank you for the $1.99 donation. You savage, brother. I appreciate you. ETH, all-time high, July, plausible. Super plausible, right? And we saw this with Bitcoin. Like, when it breaks an all-time high, it just needs to just do it. It starts to go quickly. What about File? I'm not a fan of File. Are you thinking Rose will still run? I think it'll minimum retrace. You still believing we have a bull run? I never stopped believing. I went long. I said the bottom was in April 7th, 2025. Bitcoin was at $74,400. Video evidence, and I went long. Video evidence documented. I went long 78K for Bitcoin. Video evidence documented. I went long on Ethereum. I think it was 1,700. I was one of the only ones that I'm aware of. Or maybe very few, who didn't fold. I kept my convictions. I wasn't shaken. I'm very slow moving. I am as stoic as I can be. I am slow moving. I'm not emotional. I don't get all caught up in the narratives. I just look at the data, the facts, and I try to spend my entire time figuring out what is institutions doing, why are they doing it, what is retail doing, why are they feeling this way. That doesn't mean I'm always right. Doesn't mean I always got the right flavor, but I have a pretty good track record. But that's what I do. I spend my entire time figuring out what is retail thinking, what are institutions doing. Says, bro, I've been along since ETH since 626. Let's go, bro. ETH is cooking. Come on now. Ye of little faith. Ye of little faith. What are we at? 26. Yeah, we're up a decent bit even since I went live. Come on now. I told y'all this was support. I put it out there. I made a video. That was my last video, actually. I said we're going to get caught here. Come on now. Ye of little faith. There's no copyright on the bird ski. I got you, bro. Don't worry. Algro 222. Big D, thanks for the chilies. Yes, savages. Yes, savages. Appreciate you, brother. In ski we trust. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate you. Yo, what up, D-Mom? What's up, fam? Fartcoin is hilarious. I'd love to make generational wealth from the name alone. Facts, bro. Sandbox. Decent bit of inflation on Sandbox. How can you know what institutions are doing in the market? Well, you can track their wallets. I pay attention, like, when is BlackRock buying? That's number one. Number two, they're doing the opposite of retail. I know very well what retail is doing. If there's fear in the market, institutions are buying. If there's greed in the market, institutions are selling. It's as simple as that. You know what institutions are doing by the opposite of what retail is doing. If retail's, by the way, everyone in my comments is calling for 90K right now. Everybody in my comments is calling for 90K. Guess what 90K is? 90K is this season's 12K. What do I mean by that? In 2022, when Bitcoin was at 16K, everybody and their brother and their mother was saying we were going to 12K. Everybody and their brother and their mother was saying we're going to 12K. It's not happening. When you look at my comments right now, everybody is saying we're going to 90K. That's this season's 12K. Minaj says, I miss your old setup, Ski. Don't worry, bro. It's right there. I'm just messing around. Have the Browns been eliminated from the play? Bro, I don't know if you know this, but last time Joe was the quarterback, we was in the playoffs with number 1 defense since the 1970s. Carb says, does Wyckoff help you predict tops once you're in price discovery? Can't spell Wyckoff, LOL. Yes. Yes, it does. Admittedly, though, I am much better. Hold on. I'll give me a little bit. We'll talk in a little bit. Admittedly, I'm much better at Alex says I am the master at feeling bottoms. When there's a bottom, I'm gonna feel it. Okay. I'm better at feeling when a bottom is. Is this the bottom? I'm more of a bottoms man versus a top man myself. Admittedly, I'm better at the bottoms than I am the tops, but yes, Wyckoff does give you distribution, which is a topping signal, and you would like to see it at the 702-618 Fibonacci retracement or the 1-618, 2-618, 3-618 Fibonacci retracement. Somebody block him. That's a fake. That is not me. Bro didn't even spell expert right. Come on, bro. Minaj, will you block that dude? The ya boy Ski. By the way, I will never message you first. Those are scammers, for the love of God. For the love of God, I'm not going to message you and ask you, how's your trading going? Guess what? I don't care. I got my own stuff, all right? I got my own stuff. I don't care about your trading. I do, but I'm not going to message you and ask you about it. All right? For the love of God. Bro, thank you for becoming the top gifter with the roses, bro. I'm the bottom feeler, all right? The Web. Thank you for the $10 donation, you savage. If I invested 40K into Solnic, VeChain, ADA, XYO, hee, this bull run, buy 2 Bitcoin in the bear market, 50K. In alts, Solnic, ADA, VeChain, Solana, bear market. Do that through 2032. Will it hit 5 million? Okay, so you're saying basically 2 bull markets, can you 11x? I think that is actually very reasonable. 2 bull markets, basically, is what you're saying. Can you 11x your money? I think that's very reasonable. As here's the big caveat, what you need to do for sure is security, right? With your ledger or your Phantom, just make sure you keep the key separate from the lock. Don't be interacting your storage wallets with dApps that you're unfamiliar with. If you're not sure, if you've never connected to it, always use a burner, right? So that would be my biggest piece of advice for you, because like half of the battle is investing at the right time. The other half of the battle is keeping your crypto. So that's going to be something to really focus on. I think you got a super solid portfolio. Just always be cautious and precautious with security. 2 NFTs get you lifetime access to the Telegram group where I put out all my trades. Go to launchmynft.io and search hedge funds with a Z. Me, myself, and I thank you for the $1.99 donation, brother. Ski, can you look at based fart coin? It better be based, bro. It better be based. What is this on, bro? All right, I don't know if this is a Dex Tools look. I might have to get you on the rebound. Oh, here we go. Is this it? Is this it, bro? Carb, thanks for the $4.99 donation, brother. I appreciate you. He says, thanks for all the info day after day after day after month after month after month after week after week after year after year after decade after decade. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Me, myself, and I tell you what, I'm going to get you on the Telegram because I think this is a Dex Tools look. And we know that we can't do that on TikTok because TikTok be hating, bro. Okay, this is it? Good. Excellent. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you guys follow and subscribe. Subscribe to YouTube, by the way. All right? Follow me on YouTube, too. At Yaboyski, YABOYSKEY. This looks good to me. We're talking the We're talking the 5X, bro. We're talking the Rolex wearing. Woo! We're talking the crocodile. Woo! Looks pretty good, bro. Looks pretty good. When will Bitcoin dominance elevator down? When Ethereum gets to 2,800, it will make a lower low. When Ethereum makes a lower low, or when Ethereum gets to 2,800, Bitcoin dominance makes a lower low, and that's the finality of distribution. Type number 1 if you have Solnic. Put ones in the chat if you're a Solnic holder. And if you're not, what are you doing, bro? Number 1 100x play, period. Do you What time of year do you think alt season will happen? Thank you for the roses, China. I appreciate you, brother. Dang, look at that's a whole lot of ones. The Solna community is strong. We're like the 300 mighty Spartan warriors. Our numbers may be large or small, but our hearts, we're the mightiest community. A lot of ones. Will you stay in your link long till 50? Probably 38 is around the 30s. 35 is probably when I'm going to start de-risking a little bit for sure. But I will have part of it in 50, yes. Why would we want ETH to make a lower low? I misspoke. I was talking about Bitcoin dominance. All right, let me clarify. Thank you for catching that. I thought I clarified. If I did not, I was you're correct. That's not correct. I was talking about Bitcoin dominance. Okay? What I was saying was Ethereum going just to the top of this range, which we've been in, right? This is why I made a video earlier saying that this is the bottom, right? We've been in this parallel channel here. Just going to the top of this one more time is going to be about 2850. That's going to be enough for Bitcoin dominance to make a lower low, right? So that's clarification for you. No, not Ethereum is not a lower low. Bitcoin dominance, and that will happen with Ethereum doing 2850. What time of year do you think alt season will happen? When Ethereum gets to 2,800, that is going to start things off. Now, is it going to be like full euphoria? No. It might just be the start of the race. So all-time high link is highly unlikely. No, I don't think so at all. I think that there's a decent there's a good probability that link makes an all-time high. The question was not my spot position. The question was my trade. I'm at a long on link right now. The question was specifically talking about my trade, and I am conservative about de-risking my trades. Hopefully that answers your question. No, I think that there's a good probability that Link makes an all-time high, but I was specifically asked about my trade, my long position. We believe. How are we sure Bitcoin dominance starts all season and not the other way around? Is it the chicken or the egg? They're going to happen at the same time, right? But I'm measuring dominance because it tells us what's happening next in the alt season. They're going to happen at the same time. That's the truth of the matter. Bitcoin dominance rolling over it's not like it's going to happen and then the alts are going to take off. They're going to be happening simultaneously because the alts taking off is what's going to cause dominance to go down. But why I've been looking for the longest time at Wyckoff distribution, because that tells us what's next. Says, I just realized your new setup. Wow, making the money now ski. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. All of this was $127. This isn't even a real wall, bro. This is a fake wall. It's got wheels on it. It's just these little, you can get these at Lowe's. These are like $20. And then I painted it. What is it? Little black dress. Black. I just painted it. That's it. These have wheels on it so I can move it out of the way. This is a fake wall. This is a studio wall. And then this plant right here was like $20. So I think all of this was $127. But it looks like a lot more than that. All right, so the question was, can you see Bitcoin going to 98K before breaking all-time high? I think that that's plausible. 96K, I think, is on the table. I don't think that that's likely. I don't think that that's the highest probability. But I think that that could happen. With 106 right now, I think it's less likely now. Especially that we found support here. I don't think that it's very probable at all, but I was saying 96K was on the table. But I don't think so now that we're finding support here, making higher highs. His beard is actually a wig too. That's cap, bro. This is real. Freaking grats, brother. That $127 is a business expense. It actually is. XYO prediction. My XYO prediction is 10 or 20 cents. EE703 says, after years of following crypto influencers, I realized you are the only one worth listening to. Bro, I appreciate you, bro. And my saying too is like, I don't want to discourage anyone from listening to anyone. I don't sit here and advocate that, hey, I am the truth. I am the way, the truth, the light, I know all, tell all for the right price. I don't advocate for that at all. And my whole mission is to teach you how to fish rather than fish for you. And I think it's okay to listen to all, but you should trust yourself. And that's my mission is, listen to everyone. If someone has a tool for you that you can add to your toolbox, by all means. If they're not me, that's fine. That's great. Anywhere that you can add tools to your toolbox, add them. Listen to all, but only trust yourself. Winley, thank you for becoming the number 20 fan in the fan club. I didn't know they ranked y'all like that. I didn't know they racked them and stacked them like that. What do you think Bitcoin next target is? 118. ZBCN is tanking. Listen, I said take profit. I promise you I said don't add a position on ZBCN. I promise you on my mama I said don't add a position to ZBCN. 2 to 300 for AVAX. 2 to 300 for AVAX. The goat ski. Can you look at Hello? I got you, bro. This is why I haven't heard anyone talk about Hello in a minute. Hey, Hell Ski dedicated the clutch on the tractor for business expense. Mining cost. Listen, I just like working on stuff. I like building stuff. That's what I'm a builder. I'm a pioneer. I'm a builder, a pioneer. I like building stuff. I like tinkering. Okay, this took out this support here. This has been on a downtrend for a minute here. All right. I would say that it's rounding out of this downtrend. Retracement is 10 cents. I'm going to be cautious at the retracement for sure. All right, guys. That is going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Make sure you hit that bell icon. If you're watching on TikTok, follow and then head over to YouTube. Type in @yaboyski, YABOYSKEY, and subscribe. I'm uploading videos constantly. Every day I upload a 10 to 20 minute video with the news and analysis. I'm uploading shorts. I'm going live 6 days a week, coming at you every day in every way. We're trying to make it better and better. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I will never message you first. Listen, I love you. I love you. I love you. But I'm not going to message you. I'm not going to say, hey, thank you for calling. Hey, Dinsky. How's your trading going? That's not me, bro. That's somebody from Pakistan or Kakistan. It's not me. I promise you, I'm not going to message you and ask you, how's your trading going? I don't care.